ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी आश्रकादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for our new beginning. We recently covered and discussed from Bhagavad Gita, and now we are starting from one of the very smallest books that our acharyas wrote, and Srila Prabhupada wrote his commentary on it, titled as Nectar of Instruction, and the original name in Sanskrit is Shri Upadesha Amrita, the nectar, Amrita of instructions. The 11 most essential instructions. Just like in Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter verse number 8 to 12, Lord Shri Krishna talks about 20 items of knowledge, and without it or beyond it all is ignorance. Similarly, what do we now? We learn from Bhagavad Gita, what we need to do is Manmana Madhvatupto Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Only I can be understood by devotional service. Like that, there are many verses Lord Shri Krishna speaks. So now question comes, how do we actually practice devotional life? How do we take to devotional life? Because there are going to be a lot of challenges. What are the do's and don'ts that we need to follow? So these 11 instruction talks about it. So before we begin with it, I'm gonna, we can just let you give an example of my own. If we just simply go through and read it, it would kind of get over within a week or so. It's just a very small book. Of course, we'll do some discussion, but I'll just make it a little bit presentable in the sense some flow charts, some diagrams I'll show you once in a while, just to create a memory map within you, what this book looks like, so that if you can memorize a little bit of things, then at least we'll remember. The very first time I read this book was probably in 2008, December. I was returning back from America to India. It was my first trip back to India after I had gone to America, and I thought I should read some Prabhupada books. So the smallest book that I could find on the bookshelf was this one. So I thought if I pick a big book, I would not be able to really read it. I'm going back home and things like that. So I thought what I can cover in my flight journey, I should pick. So accordingly, I picked up this book, considering I read in the flight journey. And I started reading it, and the very first verse that I read, Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam, no, not sorry, Shishyasteham, Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jibba vegam udarupashta vegan etan vegan yovishheta dhira sarvam apinam prithvim sashishyat. Sarvam apimam prithvim sashishyat. So it was mentioned that, if somebody is able to control his mind, senses, urges like that, then he can go and make disciples all over the world. I said, fantastic. This is a good book to know who can become guru in ISKCON. So I'm kind of reading about what are the qualifications or who can become a guru. And I read this whole book from that mindset. I thought, ये तो मेरे लिए है ही नहीं. मैं तो एक सीधा साधा भक्त बनने का प्रयत्न कर रहा हूँ. पहले श्लोक में बोल दिया है गुरु की क्वालिफिकेशन क्या होनी चाहिए, गुरु कौन बन सकता है. Like that, I read the whole book. Now, when you're reading a book thinking that it is talking about others, then you don't take it for yourself anything. Like that, I read the first time this, and then after almost 2 years of reading, then I got a chance to hear about it. And when I heard it, I realized this is all for me, not for anyone else. It's one of the most profound books like that. So written by our acharyas, and that's Srila Rupa Goswami. So we'll make it a practice. Whenever we read this, we'll recite a shloka, which I hope all of you during the course of time will memorize it. And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's on my browser. And if I can see my browser here. Is the shloka visible? All right. All right. Yeah, shloka is visible on Zoom, right? Okay. Maybe I can increase the size of it. I could have opened in actually, what do you say, Veda base. Anyways. Nana shastra vichanek nipano satadhama samthapakau. Everyone, you can't read it. Why it's not coming online? No, here. Our folks cannot recite here, right? Somebody can quickly pull out the shloka. Okay, let me just check. Duplicate. We will not spend time on this thing. I would suggest you can share the shloka on the WhatsApp group. No? That's quick. We will have time. Oh, better. We're going to distract me with that. Just type Nana Shastra Vichar or take a snapshot and send it onto the group. Everyone, quickly. Got it? Alright, I'm going to start reciting now. Nana Shastra Vichane Kanipano Sadharma Samsapakau Lokanamitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravindra Bhajana Nandena Mattali Kayo Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghujago Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghujago Shri Jiva Gopalako. Hare Krishna. The 6 Goswamis, under the direction of Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, studied various Vedic literatures and picked up the essence of them, the devotional service of the Lord. This means that all the Goswamis wrote many scriptures on devotional service with the support of the Vedic literature. Devotional service is not a sentimental activity. The essence of Vedic knowledge is devotional service, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyo. All the Vedic literatures aims at understanding Krishna, and how to understand Krishna through devotional service has been explained by Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis with evidences from all Vedic literatures. They have put it so nicely that even a rascal, a first-class fool, not gentleman, even a rascal or first-class fool can be delivered by devotional service under the guidance of the Goswamis. So what is the subject matter of this Nectar of Instruction? The subject matter of this Nectar of Instruction is Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangatha Bhajana Kriya Tato Anartha Nivrattisya Tato Nishta Ruchis Tatha Atha Shaktis Tato Bhavas Tatha Prema Abhyudanchati Sadhakanam Premna Pradurbhave Bhavet Kramaha. I'm just kind of setting up a little introduction. We'll start with the preface and a minute or two. Translation. These are the 9 stages of progress. In the beginning, there must be faith, Shraddha. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master, Adho Shraddha Sadhu Bhajana Kriya, and executes the regulative principles under his order. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits, anartha nivritti, becomes firmly fixed in devotional service, nishtha. Thereafter, one develops taste and attachment, ruchi, asakti. This is the way of sadhana bhakti, the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually, emotions, prema, intensify, and finally, there is an awakening of love. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotees interested in Krishna consciousness. CC Madhya 23rd chapter, verse number 14 and 15. Hare Krishna. So, if I can, where is my Zoom again? So, what it means, how does this look like? This is what it looks like. So, this Nectar of Instruction has 11 verses, which takes us from Shraddha to Prema. So, the first 3 verses talks about Shraddha, Adhau Shraddha. Text number 4 to 6 talks about Sadhu Sangha. And that text number 7, particularly Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta Ruchi, this actually talks about Shyat Krishna Nama Charita Adi Sitapya Vidya. Pito Patapta Rasanasena Ruchina. This is about chanting Hare Krishna. And then up to 7th verse is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. And then 8th verse onwards is Raga Anugha Bhakti. I'm kind of giving a little introduction for those of you who had attended Nectar Devotion. Prior, you'll relate to it. And just to put it into a context, what is this book all about? Why Srila Rupa Goswami composed it? And what is the relevance of this Nectar of Instruction in our life? So the central verse of our journey, when you're traveling somewhere, there has to be some benchmark, or let's say some points in the journey which defines how far we have reached. Yes or no? Let's say if you start from Pune to Bombay, then there are going to be some spots that you identify on the Google map that tells you you're done 1/4 of your journey, half of your journey, 3/4 of your journey. Let's say you start from Injawadi, you'll say if you have reached Lonavala or crossed Lonavala, you have kind of complete 1/4. Reached Panvel, probably 1/2. Like that, these are the thresholds you define that you know you're progressing, you're going in the right direction. These are the pit spots, call it. So similarly, we are practicing bhakti. Are we progressing or not? How do we know? So these are the 9 steps of devotion service. And to help us make progress, Nectar of Instruction has been thus written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Now why Srila Prabhupada chose to give his commentary on this book? What is the importance of it? Let's take a look at it. Prabhupada writes a preface to it. We'll read from the preface today. That will be the subject matter. And tomorrow, looks like we have time. Maybe we'll read next one also. The point is, if we just read now, we'll finish it in 2 classes. So I am just not going to read. You expect some explanations now, okay? If you're just going to be reading, it'll be very quick. All right, preface. The Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Why this book is important? Because this is written by Srila Rupa Goswami. And who is Srila Rupa Goswami? He is one of the acharyas. There are 6 acharyas. Who among the teens here knows the names of all the 6 acharyas? What are the names of 6 Goswamis? Yes. The name.
Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami.
Yeah.
Jiva Goswami and Gopal Bhatt.
Srila Rupa, Sanatan, Jiva, Gopal Bhatt, Raghunath Das, Raghunath Bhatt. No, I'm saying you should show them, na? Kya kar? Sri Rupa, Sanatan, Jiva, Gopal Bhatt, Raghunath Bhatt, Raghunath Das Goswami. And among them, Srila Rupa Goswami was the leader. And it is said, this whole Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. All right. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas, or Bengali Vaishnavas, are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Rupa Raghunath Pade Hai Beyakuti Kabhi Hama Bujhava Se Yugala Priti. When I'm eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Shri Radha and Krishna. So for us to understand Shri Radha and Krishna, we need to read the literature written by Goswamis. Now why so? Prabhupada writes in the next line. Then we'll come back to the whole discussion. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada writes, he appeared to bestow the science of Krishna. Who Krishna is? Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana Gyan. That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taught to Sanatana Rupa Goswami in his respective meetings at Prayagraj and Varanasi. The most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established the highest devotional practice, and the highest devotees are the gopis, and devotional practice that was exhibited by the gopis, like that. Now, how do we understand that? Therefore, and among them, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now second one, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis, to actually teach us that highest devotional practice. Now, Prabhupada says, therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Once again, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? To establish the science of Krishna consciousness, which also includes establishing the highest devotional practice and who are the greatest devotees. What we have to do? We have to follow in his footsteps. One must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatt Das Raghunath. Like that. Now Prabhupada says, among all the 6 Goswamis, Srila Rupa Goswami was a leader of all the Goswamis. And to guide our activities, he gave us this Upadesha Amrit, the nectar of instructions to follow. So Srila Rupa Goswami is a leader among all the Goswamis. Therefore, this book becomes very important. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established him in that situation. And now, to guide our devotional practice, Srila Rupa Goswami has given a book titled as Updeshamrita. Whose practice? Vaidhi Sadhana Bhaktas. That is our stage. So how to live our life, how to practice devotional service, how to deal with the external world, how to deal with the devotees, how to deal with the Lord, all that has been described here, how to approach devotional practice. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses. What are those 8 verses knows? Anyone knows here among the boys? What was the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Only writing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is, he's credited with Shishtashtakam. Yes, Shishtashtakam. Anyone here among the teens knows the whole Shishtashtakam? Anyone has memorized Shishtashtakam verses? What is the first verse of Shishtashtakam? We should teach these verses. Hare Krishna. Somebody speaking online?
Yes, Prabhuji. I was just.
Who is speaking?
Raki Mataji.
Yes, mother. Yes, mother.
First one is Cheto Darpan Marjanam.
Yes, mother. I know all of you know of it. I was kind of asking the teenagers who are sitting here. We're having a teen camp. They're staying with me for a week. So I was kind of asking them. All of you would definitely know. Thank you. Thank you. Once this teenagers camp kind of concludes, I'm going to interact with you only exclusively, all of you. Thank you. So this should be marked. We should, the part of verses, we should teach them and memorize this Shishashtakam. Shishashtakam and our Guruvashtakam. These 2 prayers, we should make it practice so that they learn like that. Okay, what we're talking about? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind in the 8 verses known as Shishashtakam. Rupa Goswami gave us Upadeshamrita so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. Now, so this is what this whole thing about, to guide our life. Who is Srila Rupa Goswami? Who are the 6 Goswamis? And what was the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That is clear. Now, what is the instruction? It is said Upadesh. So, what is Srila Rupa Goswami instructing through this writing? Prabhupada writes in the next paragraph. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to. What is the first duty, if in case we ask? What do you think, what is our first duty would be? If I ask you. We recently discussed in the Bhagavad Gita session also. So you all said, to follow the instruction of Guru. And I said to become obedience to Guru, Sadhu Shastra, you have to do something else also. Anyone remembers what you have to do? Yes, Agnatu. Yeah, so you can follow Guru Sadhu Shastra as long as you become disobedient to your own mind. So this goes hand in hand. In fact, that goes first. Unless you learn to revolt against your mind, or let's say tolerate the mind, we cannot follow the instruction of Guru Sadhu. So very first duty. So to be disobedient to one's mind is just like Karma Kanda in the yoga ladder. But Karma Yoga is the very first step. The very first step in Krishna conscious spiritual affairs is to learn to control one's mind and senses. That's what Prabhupada writes. Our first duty is to control one's mind and senses. What do you mean by controlling mind and senses? Any thoughts, any reflections? What do you mean by controlling one's mind and senses? Some desire comes in and now you say control, 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 control. Have you ever seen when pressure cooker में सीटी लगती है और सीटी को दबा दो फट, then again bzzz, fat. Then after a while there are chances that pressure cooker can burst, right? So what do you mean by controlling the senses? This has been a discussion of Bhagavad Gita also. Lord Shri Krishna, second chapter says, yes, Shashwat.
When we want to focus on something, our mind keeps on distracting us.
Okay.
Different thoughts, so we shouldn't listen to the mind and focus on what we are.
So how can you not listen to your mind?
By chanting and learning these books.
By chanting,
Mind control.
by chanting and not to listen to your mind, by chanting and learning about these books. Okay, yes, और क्या नाम है? Brajmohan.
By keeping association with people who are not envious.
Like keeping association with people are not envious. Okay, yes.
Getting wake up early.
All right. I mean, kind of these are all high level thing, but that's not the scriptural thing. I'll ask the seniors now. You will not have the answer actually, actual answer. You're kind of close, correct? Yes.
Diverting of mind and senses toward the service of Krishna.
Diverting of mind and senses. Okay, I'm opening the floor. This question to all of you online. How can you control your mind? What's the scriptural instruction for it? This is not the way it happens. You know, we may try for it, but okay, you're kind of on the periphery, correct? Oh, how exactly it works out? Yes, Ritesh Prabhu.
Engage ourselves in service of Guru.
Engage ourselves. That's where the mind comes into picture. I will not let you engage. Guru tells you to do this. And mind say, अरे क्या है, मुझे ही सेवा देते रहते हैं, इतने सारे भक्त नहीं है, क्यों पकड़ते हैं मुझे? Yes or no? So to say engage in Guru. Yes, Anshul Prabhu. By becoming disobedient to the mind. Yeah, how do you do that? That's all question. I mean, I said that, but you should ask, how do we do it? How do we become disobedient, right? There is something, there also has to be some reason for it. Okay, we have to become disobedient. Can you become disobedient at all times? Now you go and tell this thing to your friends outside. If you want to make a progress in your professional life, you have to become disobedient to your mind. Can they do it? Yes or no? No. So which means how can you do it? What is there something behind? It's not the origin. What is the origin? Okay, Mother Priyanka. It's an instruction from Bhagavad Gita actually.
To generate some more interesting habits like devotional service of Krishna.
Taking up to devotional service is our point. Okay, Mother Yagya.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी। अपने वरिष्ठों की
Sound a
आज्ञा
little low.
का
Can we just see if we can get some? Yes, Mother Yagya, go ahead.
अपने वरिष्ठों की आज्ञा का पालन करना, उनसे आदेश लेना और उनकी आज्ञा का पालन करके अपने माइंड को कंट्रोल करना।
Okay, what else? What else? What else? Good, very good, very good. You're close to it. आज्ञा का पालन करना. This is a question. Okay, what's going on here? So we discuss about it. Hare Krishna, audible? Yeah. So this is a quiz for all those who attended Bhagavad Gita. What was the point there? Okay, Mother Jyoti, Desh Deepak Prabhu. Go ahead, unmute. बोलिए.
प्रभु जी, वैराग्य and अभ्यास.
Okay, how do you control your mind? Good. Abhyas se ratu kaunteya vairagya chi grihate. Very good. Okay. But even to do that abhyas, it's not that if you tell somebody to do abhyas, do chanting. Even for them to take chanting, there is something prior to that. Mother Yagya was very close to the answer. Very close. Okay. Nikhil and Sonam. We'll go gradually and then come finally to the senior most person in the forum. Yes, Nikhil Prabhu. Nikhil, something is wrong with your Nikhil, something is wrong with your mobile sound system. Okay. Yes, Mother Medhavni.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnanendrastatvadarshinaha.
Okay, like that's the thing.
Surrendering to a spiritual master.
So the answer is 3rd chapter, 43rd verse of Bhagavad Gita. Please repeat. Evam buddhe param buddhva. Okay, you can try it reciting. Okay, text number, chapter number 3, text number 43, we can pull out. Evam buddhe param buddhva. Samsthabhyatmanam Jahi Shatrum Mahabaho Kama Rupam Durasadam. This is the last verse of the discussion about how to defeat Kama, lust, which in other words, how do you really overcome the urges. That's the whole point. Kama means desires. Krishna says, thus knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna. Mahabaho, what one need to do? One should steady the mind. How do you steady the mind? Control the mind? One should steady the mind. So many things came. All that was correct. But what is the exact way? By deliberate spiritual intelligence. Why? Let me take your verse prior to it. Indriyani parani aho Indriyebhya param manaha Manastastu parabuddhir Yo buddhehe paratastu saha. So here hierarchy has been described by Lord Shri Krishna, where Krishna says the working senses are superior to dull matter. Indriyani parani ahu, like that, superior. But mind, buddha, manaha indriyabhya, mind is superior to senses. Then manasastu parabuddhir, what is superior to mind? Parabuddhir, intelligence is superior to mind. So intelligence controls the mind and then mind controls the senses. If your intelligence is out of order, mind goes haywire, mind goes crazy. When mind is crazy, your senses run in all the directions. Senses, for us in conditioned nature, senses will run in all the directions. But if mind is purified and if mind is controlled or steadied by the intelligence, spiritual intelligence, then all the system comes into order. Yo buddhihi parastusa. And then what is higher than intelligence? The soul is even higher than the intelligence. This is text number 42 and 43 of Bhagavad Gita. All right? Where were we? Yes. So how do we exactly control the mind and senses? It comes from spiritual intelligence. So Tadviti Pranipatana, correct. What Mother Medhavani said, I believe Mother Yaga said about hearing those spiritual instructions. Similarly, this book, Nectar of Instruction, is meant for that purpose. It is meant to, study our intelligence. It is meant to empower our intelligence. When our intelligence is purified by instructions, spiritual instructions, then we'll be able to restrain or restrict our mind. That's our mind, okay. Reading ahead. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Therefore, all of the teens, when you all came on the very first day, what I said, so you're here for 7 days, you're going to set up some rules. No smartphones, no tablets, right? And then we also set up, what was the other rule we set for all of you? Discipline. And what then? What was the third thing we said?
Say yes.
Yes. For 1 week, you're going to practice saying yes. Whatever senior says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We cultivate that practice. And with peers, you can do reasoning. And of course, with senior, if you don't understand, you can. It's just a practice, we need to get into it. In previous culture, it was but natural because, that is how the culture was. But today, we have to cultivate that. So unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make advancement in his spiritual life. Everyone. And the best way to control mind and senses in that way is to have somebody to whom we say, yes, sir. If the person says something, then whatever mind says, we're still going to follow what the person says. You getting it? That's what Tadviti Pranipatana means. Everyone within this, like I always say, I obey, I serve, and service is the benediction. Service is what? Is the blessing, like that. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. What are the 3 modes? Goodness, passion, ignorance. So Prabhupada says everyone is engrossed in passion and ignorance, no goodness. One must promote himself to the platform of goodness, sattva, guna. And how do you establish yourself on the platform of Sattva-guna? Prabhupada writes, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami. And then when we come to the stage of mode of goodness, everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. So we just recently read in Bhagavad Gita about, the importance, the platform of goodness, what are the features of that. Now, how do you come to that platform? Prabhupada says we need to follow the instructions of Rupa Goswami given in this book, Nectar of Instruction. Next. This is the first point. So this book, this teaching, so the first important thing for a sadhaka to make a progress is control one's mind and senses. How to control one's mind and senses? By intelligence, cultivating spiritual intelligence. Now, what is the second thing required to make a progress? The two things Prabhupada writes in this preface required to make a progress. First, control mind and senses. Second, what do you think would be the second reason required to make a progress? Yes. Let me think. Who have not read it, think about it. What potentially read it? What do you think if you need to take on to bhakti? What would you say? Once mind and senses control. Braja, bolo. Anything? What do you think? What would be? Just control mind and senses, that's it? Yes. Faith. Okay, very good. Faith, good. Yes, Arav. Focus. Locus. Yes. Okay. Right. The motivational speech is going on here. Right part.
Focusing for that we should chant Hare Krishna.
Okay, focus. All right. I open this forum for the seniors now. This is a little difficult question to ask. Yes, Parag Prabhu. For the instructions, correct. How does it really happen? What is needed? Follow, but what is needed? Correct. But prior to follow, see, you know that everyone cannot follow. Somebody is able to follow, others not able to. So what's the difference? Getting the point? That's the point. Correct. But that's a high level thing. What is the background? What is the cause? Yes, actually, you might have read NOI. Don't give an answer if you've read NOI. I'm asking you to explore your thought process, not just to say. Because if you read and say, you don't learn anything. Because you're not learned to think. I'm forcing you to think. So only raise hands who are thinking, not those who know the answer. There's no point answering. Yes.
Good attitude.
Oh, fantastic. Big round of applause. The attitude. He got it. Attitude is the baseline. To say yes, there's an attitude behind it. And to revolt, there's an attitude behind it. To be able to control mind and sense to power, we need an attitude. Prabhupada writes. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. A follower of the Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. Let's try for Goswami, then we'll aim for perfect. What is Goswami? We'll talk in the text word. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. Goswami. Go means senses. Swami means the master. So, who are Vaishnavas? Who are the controller and the rulers of their mind and senses. So, if Vaishnavas are Goswamis, then who are the outsiders? What do we call them? Godasa. They are the servant of their senses. So, although we are trying to become Das, but while trying to become a Das, servant of the servant, we actually end up becoming Goswami. Interesting? And while others are trying to become Swami, they remain Das. Isn't it? So while trying to become Das or Guru, Sadhu Shastra, we end up becoming Goswami. So pick your choice, what do you want to become? Eventually you want to become Swami or Das, remain Dasa. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavan, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava. But Upadeshamrita constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. One should follow these instructions very strictly. Then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna. Signed by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, September 20th, 1975, Vishwarup Maha Mahotsav, Krishna Balram Mandir, Raman Reti Vrindavan, India. Just to do a quick recap, as I said, I don't intend to start text one today because otherwise it'll be too fast. So there are 6 Goswamis in Vrindavan as Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. What is the importance of Goswami's literature? The point which was discussed here. Anyone? What is the importance of Goswami's literature? Prabhupada talked about in preface. Because Goswami's literature helps us to understand Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood and mission. We can only understand the science of Krishna consciousness through the Goswami's literature. Like that. What is the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Quickly. Anyone online wants to say, they can say. Okay, Brajmohan, what is the mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Congregational chanting already, okay, and Sankirtan, all right. And the most exalted activities of all, most exalted activities in the Krishna consciousness or the pastimes are of gopis. To understand that, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally appeared as Srimati Radharani, like that. So actually, Sankirtan, yes, but it is only through the writings of Acharyas we can understand the conjugal affairs of Shri Radharani and Lord Shri Krishna. Now, what is the significance of this book, Nectar of Instruction? Was the third point that preface discussed. If I have to put it into sub points, so this is the third point. What is the significance of this book, Updeshamrita? Any quick thoughts? What is this Updeshamrita is going to give you? Hare Krishna. I mean, I kind of broke it into pieces already. Spent my time. I'm just doing a kind of recap. And you look like you just came to the class hearing and you're looking at me, kya kuch hua tha charcha? I'm just repeating myself. I'm not asking a new question. Now you have to thank Kali Yuga memory for, fantastic memory right now. Okay, Mother Sudha Saxena, online, yes.
Prabhuji, to make it easier for us to become a devotee.
To make it easier for become a devotee, okay, significance. Adau Shraddha Sadhu Sangha. These are the instructions which are essential to be practiced to make a progress in Krishna consciousness. That's what Mother puts it like that. Okay. So significance of this book, Nectar of Instruction, like this. So there are 2 ways Prabhupada explained the significance of this book. One is in terms of the instructions. And second, he explained the importance of this book by describing about the author. The author is the leader among all the Goswamis, like that. So glories of the author, with respect to Supreme Lord, he is a direct disciple and intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With respect to the Goswamis, the leader of all 6 Goswamis. With respect to our movement, whole Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Hare Krishna. And the authority of and the author of many important books. And finally, the purpose of the subject discussed in NOI, to guide our activities and to help us become pure Vaishnavas. And to do that, what is the first duty of a spiritualist? To become a devotee. What is the first duty of a devotee to make a progress? Yes, Path.
He should control his senses.
Yeah, so one has to learn to control his minor senses. And the second thing? Yes?
He should listen to his guru.
Okay, good. Yes?
You have a good service attitude.
Attitude is the attitude being discussed here, like that. Importance of the right attitude, like that. So that's the subject matter. And when we begin from tomorrow, we'll take a look at the verses. Just wanted to set Hare Krishna. Our devotee handling camera is highly in anxiety today. He's stressed out with his camera stand. So that's the subject matter. We'll begin from tomorrow. Just wanted to set a preface. And then we'll go through Prabhupada purpose, because Prabhupada purpose are in itself quite detailed. And if need to be, maybe we'll just add a little bit of things from our Acharya's commentary to understand subject matter. With that, we pause here for today. I might add some questionnaires here now. Because Bhagavad Gita was quite a long thing, so I didn't want to add. So I may add like kind of a MCQs for every verse. So let's say we complete a verse and you'll have some kind of 10 questions to answer, MCQs. Is it all okay? Whatever audience will online say. So, it's just not that you kind of hear, but you get to see how much you've understood. By the way, can everyone just we can have a quick darshanarti of Vaishnavas? So I get to know who all Vaishnavas are assembled here, who all are there, who are part of it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, everyone have got the cameras on? Fine. In case any one of you have any suggestions for it, Bhagavad Gita we kind of read through and I kind of explained intermittently. Here we'll do the both things and add a quiz also. And if you have any further suggestions, you can suggest for it. Mother Medhavni, an action item for you. Just an FYI.